Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Again, we bring back Paul Harvey. This time, we are going to be speaking about when giveaways don't work. How you doing, Paul?
Yeah, good, Daniel. Yourself?
Not bad, not bad. So, in most cases, giveaways have been good to us, but there are certain elements of doing
Hmm.
giveaways when they don't work. I mean, I've said time and time again on the show, you can't polish a turd. So, if you're going to give something away, regardless of the fact that you've managed to rank it, you've got a situation whether it's going to stick or not. And that's when the organic sales take over. So we already know that that's important. But there's been a lot of talk recently, especially about people doing Facebook ads and saying that they're being suspended. I'm not saying review services or anything. But I think there's a lot more that meets the eye. Should we get into the nuts and bolts of this?
Yeah, let's do that.
So, from your point of view, name a few things that would obviously lead to a failure in terms of running a launch campaign.
So first of all, is that what people need to understand is they get lots of people always saying if you're on a Facebook ad or whatever stuff, you're gonna get banned. Everything. The grand scheme of things is that everyone's case is completely different. I've yet to see two people with exact same cases, and normally it's something small that Amazon's caught you out on, meaning that maybe you're doing too many giveaways with reviews paired together, and maybe they're flagging you for that, or maybe they're flagging you for other things such as using text in your ad that actually is copyrighted, like using the Amazon logo, the wrong logo for itself for that.
Yeah,
So people first need to make sure they're completely TOS compliant.
yeah,
That's the first major thing. And people say that Amazon don't like discounts. I completely disagree because Amazon love discounts. They
yes,
really, really do. And in fact, we're sending tons of, I won't say tons, but lots of traffic that's discounted.
yeah.
Amazon won't complain as long as they're seeing a balanced version and a balanced purchases in terms of discounts and organics. And organics will kick in the future. Absolutely will.
Okay, so let's break this down. If Amazon were against discounts, they wouldn't offer discount codes. If
Correct.
Amazon thought that discounts at too high a discount would be against terms of service, they wouldn't allow us to do 90% off, 80% off, 70% off, etc.
Agreed.
Yeah, we determine the percentage that we want to give away at. That's in place.
Hmm.
So let's look at some of the sticking areas. Let's just say that you are running Facebook ads. Obviously, we discussed the storefront URL. Amazon is left that there for people to use. All the launch services use them. I think it comes down to quite often, a lot of people approach me and go, "Oh, Dan, I've got my account suspended." And then what happens? They go, "Well, tell me the history before we get into the reason behind it." He said, "Oh, yeah, I've done these giveaways and got suspended." And then you go, well, then I got flagged for this and I got flagged for that. But it transpires that when he started out, he was putting sale information in the bullet points. He was cut and pasting and quoting reviews in the listing as well. So instantly, he's got to a stage where Amazon's flagged him. And I said, it's probably the straw that broke the camel's back. You've done something else to get
Mm.
on further down the line. Now, he's got his account back. But I think the interesting part of it is that, let's just say, I think I've spoken to some of the suspension people and they say, yeah, it's been suspended because of Facebook ads. Now, they don't necessarily always know the technicalities of a launch
Mm.
and the step by step. They're just saying Facebook banned, therefore this is a bad idea. But I think what you've got to look at is people are using a review funnel as much as a lot of people say they don't. They're always kind of look for an angle. It's like, well, if I do this and do
Mm.
this, then I can
Mm.
do that and sneakily write an email to them because I've got their emails. I captured it when it hit the landing page. That's the thing. I think the biggest for me, what I've seen is the review element is the problem. Is that the other? Let's give you another example. Let's just say the people weren't provoked, but you've done a giveaway and they've
Mhm.
gone to leave a review. Let's just say they used to do reviews back in the day, and they've gone to write a review to say, "Oh yeah, I got this at a great discount, or I've near enough free, etc., etc." Then that's led to that issue where Amazon won't necessarily publish that. And maybe they've got an
Mm.
algorithm that's trapping those things so that they're doing all these giveaways and suddenly these reviews are appearing and they're at a deep discount price. And the content of the review, even though you may have not asked the customer to do a review, they might have just decided to do that off their own back. So that could present itself as a problem.
Mm. Exactly. And I fully agree with you is that, I mean, I've been on Amazon now for, I think, over 5 years now selling. And the amount of people that have come to me and said, "Oh, Paul, I've been suspended. That's because of this one thing I did." I'm like, really? One thing? In the grand scheme of things, it was never one thing. It was a list of issues they've been mounting over the past. And it wasn't one thing. Amazon's already been watching them and they broke the rule again, and it falls completely on them. So I've never seen just one issue that people have been banned. I mean, I had inserts in my product once that blatantly asked for a review, breaking TOS, and Amazon found out, and they sent me an email saying, "Please don't do it," and I stopped it. And then, but if I did that along with other things, then Amazon would have banned the account.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether there's a part where, even if it's not notified to the Amazon seller for their seller account, but the algorithm's picking up activity on the account. Yeah, so you might find is that someone's done a whole friends and family thing through PayPal. That's in one period, and then they're doing the giveaways, and then they're asking for reviews when they're doing the giveaways, or someone's clocked their ad on Facebook. They've made like a bold statement in the copy, which is maybe not true, or it's misleading, or they've used the Amazon logo in the ad and they've used the 5 stars. And it may not have 5 stars, or the landing page may have the 5 stars on, and it may have like an Amazon Choice badge or a bestseller badge, and it doesn't have those things. And so throughout their whole funnel, it's been picked up along the line, because there's nothing stopping an Amazon employee signing up to one of your funnels. So,
and just about the Amazon employee aspect, I have a lot of friends in Cape Town. In Cape Town, one of the big Amazon offices, and I was talking to them there. They say a lot of the people that work there have their own Amazon seller accounts.
Yeah.
And they make money on the side doing this. And it might be a conflict of interest, but they do it and they're allowed to. And so they know what we're doing. They are absolutely fine with it. So I'm not too worried about breaking terms of service, because we are staying compliant and we're not breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Also, Amazon doesn't really make it very specific on what those rules are. They're very vague. I mean, it took me a while to figure out that I was using the wrong Amazon logo in my ads. Now I use the proper one, the Amazon affiliate icon, which is
right.
allowed.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate on that just for the listeners?
So what happens is that when you run the normal Facebook ad, so let's say you're doing a Facebook newsfeed ad, so it appears on the user's newsfeed. Normally what people say is they say buy on Amazon now, and then in the image they have the Amazon logo, and then they have 5 stars. And then even if it's not 5 stars, they have those 5 stars there. Now we can't do that, because first of all, using the Amazon logo is breaking their trademark, their registration, all that kind of stuff there. Yeah. But if you go into the Amazon affiliate side and actually Google it, I'll put the link in the chat box and then in the comments after this. But they give you an image you're allowed to use on your website, on your ads, everything. And there's 2 types of images. There's one light image and one dark image, so it makes your images on Facebook stand out more. And if you use that image, you're completely allowed. There's no rules against that.
Cool, that's good. So we've gone more into suspension here. So if we went back on track, let's look at some of the other causes of when a campaign don't work. We know that you can't put lipstick on a pig, and so your product's got to be good. Now, there's other areas, like we just covered the review thing, which I think will fall more under the suspension side. But if we put reviews to the side for one moment, let's look at the technicalities of when, I see a lot of Facebook threads and say, is the storefront URL still working? My product didn't rank. And let's talk about the 7-day trailing period. Let's talk about historic conversion history on the listing and things like that. I say this every time I talk. I posted this a few times on your podcasts. I say this all the time, is that the most important time in your product's lifespan is the first few weeks that it is live. I always stress that. So when people, as soon as go live, they must make sure they have a keyword-rich title. They know which keywords to target on the Amazon ads, and then they know which keywords to target on the Facebook ads in the storefront URL. Yeah.
So if the user knows all those 3 aspects, then it's a trifecta telling Amazon that you are relevant to those things, those keywords, because it's picking your title, your Amazon ads, and it's a storefront URL as well. So with those three things working together, you will leapfrog up the rankings to page one, hopefully, depending on the keyword you're targeting.
Yeah.
And I've normally found that it varies from marketplace to marketplace and the competitiveness of the niche. But I found normally about 3 days is the minimum, might be a little bit longer. And I find 3 to 7 days is a real sweet spot to rank. And then as soon as you rank, don't do what everyone else does and just turn off their promotions, because you've got there. Now you got to stay there. So keep running those promos to make sure you keep and hold your spot until the organics kick in.
Yeah, I think, just dipping into that a bit further is that with the time value, don't forget that you've got sales and you've got pending sales. So you might do a load of giveaways and then you've got a 24-hour delay in terms of pending. Or there's a consideration where you may have stock that's reserved. You know, you've got to take into all these factors as well. And the most important thing really as well is the amount of units you plan to give away and what period. If you start doing a promo at Christmas and all the sales go 3 to 6x, that means you've got to give away a lot higher. It's going to be tougher to rank in those periods. So you're best to keep away from the seasonality periods. Like you wouldn't want to be in the middle of October trying to rank something that's just a short period time for Halloween, for instance, you know. So picking your time is going to be important. Don't be cheap on giveaways as well. I think one of the biggest problems I've seen with people with Facebook ads are going, I gave them a 20% discount and nothing happened. It's like, no one's interested in 20%.
Yeah.
You've got to do 90, give away 90%. Forget about reviews.
Exactly.
About stimulation, algorithm, give away value for money, right? You're disrupting someone's attention. If you can barely do sponsored ads, which is a very simple program compared to Google ads, yeah. So if you're struggling with that, then Facebook ads, you want to keep it simple. The way to keep it simple is keep your offer simple and give them value for money, disrupting their attention. So I see a lot of people trying to do 50s and 60s and get frustrated. That's screwing up your ability to give away units, because ultimately you give stuff away. Because I've done all these different things. I've tried to experiment with those, even though my skills are of a reasonable level. The 90% just works. They don't work against the system. You just have to watch that cash dancing out the door. If you're going to do giveaways,
pretty much,
if you want to compete, and it's at your own risk because it may not stick at the end. But that's the risk that every Amazon seller takes that does giveaways, whether that's for a giveaway service or they're doing it themselves. Because pretty much doing the Facebook ads to the landing page to Amazon is pretty much a similar protocol. What's going on with the giveaway services? We know that giveaways isn't against terms of service, or there wouldn't be giveaway services out there, or there will be banned.
Exactly.
Right. So
exactly.
You know, you've only got to look at between Anthony Lee and Casey Goss, who's got the viral launch. How many thousands, tens of thousands of launches and you know, customers that they've got, like it's huge. You know, so we know that
completely that.
We know that giveaways isn't an issue. We know discounts isn't an issue, but we do know that Amazon's very, very protected over their customers and their customers' position on reviews. So I think it's going back to the review thing again, but let's just jump off there and digress. Let's go back to when things go wrong.
Oh, just one thing I want to add about Casey.
Yeah.
So I met Casey. I don't think he remembers this, but I met Casey about 3-4 years ago. We just launched Viral Launch, and a super smart guy. I really like the guy. But what blew me away was how compliant he is with TOS.
Yeah.
That's one thing I was really impressed with, is that he would not take a risk at all. And the fact that if he's doing Viral Launch, then you know it's actually compliant, because he's not a guy that will break rules. And I appreciated that. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
When you're doing giveaways, don't be cheap. Work out how many days you need to give away for. That's key. The other thing is, don't scrimp on discounts. If 90% discount works, don't try and do 80%, because your conversion rates may be different. Therefore, you may end up giving away less units and it'll take you longer to rank. That's costing you more money in the long term. I would say leaving 7 days trailing plus 1 day to really get an understanding of what's happening, and find a way to close the loop, to look at the amount of units that you're giving away, the amount of units per order, because average order value is key obviously check those against your discount codes, against organics, because you may find that once you start ranking the product, it doesn't necessarily stick straight away. So you might be giving away 20 units a day, but then because you've got some organic sales, you can reduce them to 10 a day, then to 5 a day, and then do a smooth transition over. I think a lot of people go, right, I'm going to rent for a week and that's it, because that's all my budget, and blow all their budget there. But you need to do a bit of massaging and dancing, because it's not an exact science, you know.
And along with Facebook ads, one thing which I always try to hammer across to anyone I talk to is that running Facebook ads, no matter how smart you are, don't forget the basics, such as making sure your codes can't go viral. That's absolutely massive. I mean, I've coached a whole bunch of people, and I would say at least 30 to 40% have made that mistake where stuff went viral. One person I know literally lost their house because their codes went viral. They sold, I think, 2,000 or 3,000 units in the space of half an hour, I think an hour, and then it was all at 99% off. Yeah. And then all their fees went back into paying off the supplier, paying off Amazon. At the end of the day, she couldn't make rent, so had to move out.
Exactly. There's a lot of people gutter morals out there. There's even software that, you know, but they do exist. So you just got to be vigilant and take care of what you're doing and make sure, because anyone can get caught out. And we've seen it a few times. And I feel bad for these people. They're trying to build a business.
So one thing I want to add into that, when people are planning their Facebook ads and their giveaway strategies, all that kind of stuff, if we're doing Facebook ads, giveaways, it doesn't make a difference because, well, it does make a difference. What I mean is that when you are at the product research stage, at that stage, you need to start factoring into giveaways or Facebook ads and how much that will cost you. Because that's a factor which people don't do. And then what happens is they source a product, it lands on Amazon, and then they start Facebook ads or giveaways, and they realize it's too expensive to do that, and henceforth they run so far into the red they can't afford to reorder. So people need to take these costs into effect when they're doing product research.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I've got proprietary tools that I've been sharing with our group. For those things, exactly.
That's a pretty sexy tool, I won't lie.
Yeah, no, I mean, but obviously that's not for retail. I'm not interested in being a software company at any point, but I need proprietary tools to help me and my business and my partners and like yourself and stuff. But yeah, I think, the giveaway thing plays an important role. But again, that comes down to what niche you're in as well. I mean, you could sell really high cost products where it's out of reach for a lot of Amazon sellers who simply can't bankroll that kind of level of cash flow. You know, products that sell for $350, $400.
Yeah. I think just one thing about the Facebook ads, which I try to tell everyone as well, is also people, I'd say about 90% of Amazon sellers just rely on Amazon PPC.
Yeah.
And very few Amazon sellers, and I honestly believe I'd say about 10% of Amazon sellers actually do outside traffic strategies, where Facebook is one of them. And the fact of the matter is, if you have an effective strategy, that is so powerful, because that puts you in a whole other level playing field compared to the rest. So that's why everyone I say is that if everyone has access to the same tools like Amazon PPC, then everyone is on a level playing field. But if you have some extra strategies like Facebook ads, AdWords, whichever, that separates you from the rest, and that can help you so much.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how long storefront URLs will be used for. You know, you have to kind of work out, like you said, your strategy, whether you're going to use some form of influencer marketing or you're driving external traffic from other channels that works for you. I mean, I know that people use social, but let's be honest, you need tremendous scale to get them piddly little conversion rates. So like, the conversion rates on a lot of social is worse than display ads, you know?
Yes.
So PPC, like paid ads I find seem to work really well in terms of third party. Facebook is in some cases been the strongest, but it's going to be product dependent. I mean, there's in Google ads as well. We've kind of covered Google ads on the show previously, but but they're all different new topics. Is there anything else you want to add finally?
I think that's, but finally is that basically when you're running AdWords or Google AdWords or Facebook ads, bear in mind you're gonna suck when you first start, and that's when people always give up and they tell me, "Oh, I've done Facebook ads, it didn't work." It didn't work because you gave up. You have to really go through it and go through all the hardships. Only then will you be effective.
Makes sense. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us. Paul, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you again
Thank you,
soon.
Danny.
No worries. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care.